Right. So I see if I can get my glasses. So welcome everybody to my live streaming. I am doing. You can see on my thumbnail is DIY Christmas. I thought that since this is a Christmas, keep to the budget so that you will not spend unnecessary money. I think Sweden, for me, the Christmas here is very stereo. When the season starts, everybody will rush to the store and see what is the latest Christmas decoration. But I think this year, people have changed their way of shopping for Christmas gift and Christmas decoration. So I thought, why not share with you some of the tips that I found out from internet, and then I borrow them, and then I try to create some Christmas decoration for my home instead of spending so much unnecessary money. What I want to do now is to show you how to make this gingerbread home. This is actually quite simple to do, and you really don't need a lot of skill to do this. Let me just turn on the light so you can see the effect of it, right? See, the lights on, the lights off. So actually it's quite easy to do. What I use is actually those cardboard, right? You know, you can find at stores, especially nowadays at the store, they give for free because you want to wrap presents. So they will definitely give you because they want to clear the space. So these are the carton that I get from the store. And then what I did is with this bigger piece of paper, with this bigger piece of carton, I just cut out the shape of the house, and then I use a white paint, like acrylic paint, to just paint around the edges. You see that? So it's really not that difficult to paint around. So you want to, I'm coming closer. So I want to just show you, you just need to paint around the edges, around the windows, the doors, and then I make these bricks. And what I did is I just used the paint and a just simple brush like this. And with the black part, like this kind of window holes, I just use a black marker. So as you can see, it's not that difficult. Don't worry, I'll show you the tricky part behind, which is a bit messy. This is how it looks like. This is just some Christmas fairy lights where you can get really cheap. It's battery operated. I got this for 10 crown. And then what I did is I use a paper tape, and then I just tape it around those windows area with the opening, and then it looks like, you know, there is a ceiling light or the window light. You see that? So if you want to have the pattern of this one, I'm going to take picture and then I'm going to post it in my community page, because I made a few more. I made 7 of this with all different designs. So I'm going to paste it in my community page at YouTube, so you too can copy the design if you are running out of ideas. So in order for this to stand, I just use another cardboard, and then I just stapler it. I stapler here and then I stapler here. So it becomes like a supporter. So it will hold this 90 degrees up, so I could put them in my window. They are very light, and the battery will probably last the whole Christmas for me, because I don't on it like every day. I only on it when there are visitors. So you have to be a bit cautious about this, because this won't last forever. This will last maybe 21 hours or so. So when you have guests come, you know, it's always nice that they've been greeted with a very homemade, welcoming Christmas spirits. So It doesn't cost me a lot of money to make this. I think around 10 crown for this, and then the paper is for free. And then what I did is to buy the paint. I already have the paint, and then I have the marker. Not more than, I would say the cost of it is not more than 15 crown. So it's really, really easy to make, right? So I hope you like this idea. And another idea that I really like, I'm going to flip up the camera to show you how I decorate this part. So you guys, this is the like a Christmas figure that I made. Let me just see if I can just tune in. So these are made of clay, and this clay is really cheap. I could get them $3 for half a kilo, and then you can make plenty of this hanging. And really, you really don't need a skill. All you need is to just maybe draw out the shape on a piece of paper and then paste it on the clay. I'm going to show you how the clay look like, and then make a hood, and there you go. I bought this thing, this holder, at a flea market or secondhand, and I remember it was just like $2 or $1. I can't remember. I think it's really cheap. So again, this is something that you can do with your children, because the children would love to do this together with you, and they are really simple. When you work with children, I think it's very easy, because I work with LG's granddaughter a lot, and she's only 4 years old. So I think that children will have more patience and more likely to follow through if you have something really easy for them to manage. And then you need to have some patience, and also, try not to do something too complicated, because if it becomes too complicated, it's going to be really difficult for them to follow through. And with that, let me just show you what I did here. I'm going to put up some foam here, some form of design that I've made. Can you guys see or not? So I have made some tiles, which I don't really know what I'm going to do with this yet. So this is going to be used as a Christmas decoration. And this is how the clay look like. I buy them at a very cheap, like something like a dollar store, and it costs like $3 for half a kilo. So what I do is that I take them and I press it, and then I draw my own design. These are all made from screw. These are pen, the pen holder behind, and then some of them I use a spin roller, and some of them I use hand to draw. And this is actually done by my earrings, the one that I'm wearing now. So you just press them with the earrings, so you get this really nice snowflakes. And I also made some earrings. I haven't tried putting that on yet. And I also make some figures like this. So it's really fun to make. I find that this is something that I like to make to relax and to stay focused, because I find I have difficulties in staying focused lately. So this is something that I would definitely recommend that you can do, because you can really use your own fantasy and imagination to work something. And the clay, for more advanced, I also made small figures like this, like some green leaves. So these are all made of clay, and then I can use it as a decoration, or I can put a magnet behind and use it as a magnet for the fridge. So they are something that I have learned recently, and I really enjoy doing that. It helps me to relax and yeah, give me more time to think about how I should prioritize my time. So I think Christmas is something really special. I don't like to celebrate Christmas before, but now I feel like after living here for so many years, I start to like it because I find that Christmas in Singapore is very commercial. Everybody is talking about, oh, what kind of gift you will get. And it's the same thing here also, but I find it more commercial because maybe we don't have snow there and maybe the setting is like too commercial. If you see there, also the lights, the something that is also made by turtle. And let me just show you this, yeah. This is made from toilet paper. What I did is just, it's 3 of them here. I don't know whether you can see them. Let me just remove here. Just 3, just Christmas tree. They are made from actually very soft cardboard, not the one that I showed you earlier on. Not this one, yeah. This is a slightly softer cardboard. So what I do is I roll them into a cone, and then I staple them, and then I use a wool or some string to just glue them around it, and then on top I top it with stars. So again, this is something that you can do. It's really easy. This is done by using the same technique, and except I use ribbons. These are some old ribbons that I found in the cupboard that's been sitting there 100 years old. So I thought, why not make them into a Christmas tree? I think the rest, I think I have made some videos on that. So I'm going to include the link in this video description so you can check out how I do the rest. Let me just tell you the life updates of my life or our life currently. I think a lot of people are facing mental health issue because they are so afraid, especially people who are living near to Ukraine, like Poland, Belarus. People there are very worried. But for up here in North Sweden, we are still quite laid off or laid back. We don't talk. Swedish people don't like to talk so much about the war because when they start talking about that, then we are at our age. So it's good and it's bad. But I think it's good to be aware. That's why I always, maybe LG may find it weird, but I find that it is very important to keep yourself updates on the situation. You don't have to totally rely on some social media because not every social media are giving you the right or the most truthful situation report. But I think we should be aware and we should prepare. And also mental health issue is raising. And that is why I feel like, when I do all this craft, it's a time for me to just relax and just put focus on something that, to make something beautiful or to make something that makes you feel good. I think that is really, really important. If you're not into craft, maybe you should start, or you are a very active person. I think exercise also helps to release some stress. I think recently I start to notice that because me and LG, we started water gymnastic lately. We practice 2 times a week in the evening. And as you exercise, I find that exercise really helps to release all the negativity and all the stress. So exercise is definitely something that you can do if you're not into this kind of craft. Also, for me, I find that cooking also recently, I started to realize that cooking also helps to relax. Uh, Lately, I have been preparing some recipes, how to cook, in case, we have to, in case there's no meat in the supermarket, how we're going to cook with all the canned food, right? So you have already prepared all the canned food, and people are running out of ideas. What should we do? So I'm actually currently working on that, creating certain recipes that may be more interesting, not so boring. And most importantly, you don't really need an oven to cook, because if we don't have power, there will not be stove, there will not be oven. So we have to learn how to be creative. I have actually written something here that I want to discuss about. Yes, about my online course. So currently, me and LG, we are taking this course together, Monday to Friday, and it's a full-time course. So we find that this is very interesting, that we learn things also. So to improve mental health, I think it is also important that you learn something every day, that you develop yourself, whether it is new skill, whether it is new recipes, whether it is first aid, which I find is really important, because a lot of people, they don't understand how important. If you watch the news from the war, you notice a lot of people are injured, and what happens if the bombs drop and your neighbors or yourself or your family are in trouble? So you do not know how to save them. So I think it's very important to learn things like that, like if you have a wound, how to treat that wound, how to help other people, how to do the, what do you call it, ESP, something like that, to pump the heart. So something like that would be really, really good. So I'm planning, and that's my goal, to learn more about that online, whether it is on YouTube or on the internet. I think that is a very useful skill that you can learn. And also how to keep food longer. I noticed lately, when me and LG, we went down to our basement to check on the food, because for canned food you have to turn them. Do you know, right, guys? You have to turn your canned food like every 1 month, because if you let your canned food to sink down, the food will turn bad easily. So you have to turn your canned food. And while we were doing that, I noticed the cellar is very humid. Some of the boxes become very damp, and some of the items will spoil, especially like flour that are being packed. In Sweden, we have this flour packed in boxes, paper boxes. Some food, some pasta in paper boxes. That is not so good, because if you keep those boxes, they will get mold, and you have to throw away all the food. And that is not good. You waste money on that. So I think it's very important to learn a new skill. And I think it's also important that you talk to your neighbors. If you have neighbors that that doesn't really associate or doesn't like to socialize during an uncertain time, it is really good that you create a team of people around you, so that you can help each other, in case other people or other parts of the village people might come and steal your food or steal your wood. So I think it's very important to have this kind of connection so that you could help each other out, in terms of emergency. And also, I think it is important to like be social. I've a lot of I think some of my viewers, they saw my video, they say, hey, Ashley, you don't have so much of a social life. Huh? I think you should go out more often. And I think it's true, we hardly go out. And for me, I think that's something to do with my personality. I'm an introvert. Of course, I'm very protective from myself, because I think I get very easily offended by people, but just simple comment. And, I think this got something to do with myself, um, being in a shelf for so long. So lately we've been getting in contact with friends. They invite us for dinner and we take initiative to go visit people, which is really, really good. So I think you have to balance your lifestyle, even though the time is uncertain. The pandemic made me realize that our life is very vulnerable. And that is when I started to, like 3 years ago, I started to prep and I started to develop and learn skills on how to survive. And that is why initially my channel started off as a person who is passionate about Asian food, Asian cuisine. And then when I start foraging, I start to incorporate foraging food with the food that I eat for health purposes, and also some of the video that I created for medicine purposes, So if you are new to this channel, I hope you go and check it out on my foraging playlist. And also you might find some very unique recipe that I created myself, and some of the Singapore traditional hawker food. So if you want to find out, I hope you check out my older video. But currently I'm just focusing on what I think is more important, which is the current situation, the pandemic, the imminent war, and we don't know exactly what the future holds. So I think I want to how do I call it? Not change my channel. I'm still who I am, being a Singaporean living in North Sweden. Besides sharing with you guys my life, how difficult it is to live here, being somebody who are from overseas, what are the challenges I face and how I solve it. And being a very practical person myself, realistic. So I try to share with you guys how I solve my own problem, living abroad. And now that we have this imminent war and we have this pandemic still ongoing, we have to value life, and we have to take care of ourselves, get ourselves fit, so that we could fight this. I hope my channel is something that is valuable, that offers benefits and useful information, so that we all, because I'm not a professional in survival skill. I'm still learning from other YouTubers, and I'm still learning something from the internet. So I hope with all this information and all this knowledge, I can share them with you guys on YouTube. But I also hope that we could connect, and we could, whether you are a prepper for a long time or whether you are a beginner, I hope we could all connect and help each other out. I think that's why a community is very important nowadays, that we not only help each other, we learn from each other. And let's hope that this channel could be a useful site where we could exchange and learn from each other. So I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, give a thumbs up and send me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this channel being channeling to another direction, where my hope is to create a community. So let's help each other out and do something useful together. All right. So I'm going out with LG now. We don't have classes today, so we are thinking of shopping for some Christmas presents, maybe, and get something done in town. And I hope to see you in my next. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye.